Hi everyone, this is Big Mama, and I have an opportunity to bring to you this pink floral kit that is from Dear Julie Julie. You can get it at her Etsy shop, and this digitals are just beautiful. Absolutely. I guess I don't have to tell you because you can see it yourself. This is just a few pages because I've used up quite a bit of them in my project. So what I did was I went to an online sale, and Debbie Ham was selling some file folders that she had taken and added an embroidered pillowcase to. And so this is the file folder, and she added all of the lace and everything, but I love the fact that these flowers really match in with these flowers. So I decided this is the perfect project to use this with. The file folder was flat and you'd have the pillowcase on both sides. What I did was I folded it into the thirds to turn this into a traveler's notebook. When I sewed in the signature in the spine, I added beads here. She had buttons on it that I used the heat gun to. I'll show you my beautiful little heat gun. It has been used. Sorry folks, but I go grunge on my paper all the way through my shop. So I hope that that's okay with you, but here we go. I took and hand sewed on some buttons after I had used the heat gun on this and popped off the ones that I didn't need. And so I hand sewed those onto the pillowcase with the seam binding here, and the seam binding is from Penny Pudge, and so that's another online sale. When you find Penny Pudge selling, she has incredible dyed seam binding that is perfect for these projects. And then I folded it in thirds so that it would be a traveler's notebook. And then on the inside here, what I had done was took old magazine that I had, I think it was 1923, and added pages to it and then put a wax over it to give it durability. Then on my pieces of plastic, here I took a washi tape and cut through it and then used the glue. I used art glitter glue when I did this. But I also, when I sewed around it, the reason why I did that is so that the art glitter would also have a little bit of a grab in with the thread as well as the plastic to hold it down, giving me now 3 pockets. And this one has a little letter in it. It's a blank piece of paper for you to write the letter. This is a little notebook for you to write memories. And then here is a little journaling card for you to be able to write something on there about your journey. And then on this side I have the pocket here, and took and have an old, try to find everything here ahead of time so I wouldn't have to keep, but I have this old notebook of receipts and I just love them. And so what I do, took the staples out of it so that I could have 2 together, and then I sewed the 2 together so that you could use this for a journaling spot also. And then sewed it with the bow and added the art glitter glue to hold that in place. And so I feel like that just really adds to the look. I took a napkin and used the collage medium on it, the gel matte medium, but I used the matte and put it on the opposite side, and then took and rubbed off as much as possible to give it that transparency look on the other side of the plastic. Added a little butterfly here. And then this week so if this ever stays up and you guys are looking at this 100 years from now, this week would have been the first week of June in the year of our Lord 2023. So I just wanted you to know that Cheryl Ink Pulp is the name of the channel, and she does art before breakfast in the morning. She has people that come on there and she'll have a project and say, what do you think? What do you want to do? And so one of the things was she had taken a piece of paper and had opened it up And I thought, well, that is a really, really great idea to kind of bring you into this journal. It's like you're going to open up the window and see all the flowers that are outside. And so I took, on my paper, I went ahead and used the glossy accent to make the glass of the window, and then added some old lace and tore it and left it real fuzzy so to kind of like be in an old house. And then the page that I used out of the dictionary has the word flower and florist on it, so that's why I use this page. And then because the colors in here are the pink and the greens, that's why I use this around here. And then here, another old magazine that I had is Needlework, and this was in 1915, and no, I apologize, 1922. And so I made a pocket, but I used the painter's paper to line it to give it that strength, and ironed it on with Wonder Under so that it would give it a lot of strength, so in case over time this paper becomes a lot more brittle. So when I made the card that I went with it, I had an embroidery packet, and it has again this flower shape for these flowers, and then I had this. And so what I did was I did some hand stitching and did some knots on here, colonial knots, and just a little vine, and then up here some colonial knots and a scrap of lace up on here, to just, because it's embroidery, I wanted to kind of add all of that and the flowers and everything. And so then I had, on the back, I added, to cover up my stitches, I added this paper, which is avocado dyed, and a splash of coffee on it to create interest. So this is another one of her pages, and I did the torn lace on the edge here and here. This is one of her pages that I printed on music paper, creating that interest so that you can still use the lines to write your story. On this one, I did not stain it or anything. I thought, well, you know, I'm going to try to leave something just plain, but I did add the music paper over here. And I used hole punch because this is the edge of the notebook paper that had the 3 holes, and so I just added more holes and wove this in through the holes, and then added lace so that it would create a border, and added some lace over here, and this is actually holding this in place. Then this page, when I folded it in half, because I wanted the lines to go this way, so when I folded it in half, it is a little bit too narrow. So I added this to the edge to cover up any of the paper that is not going to be serviceable for writing. I wanted to add a little bit of interest. And so that's just using my paper that was the avocado dyed, and then I did a little bit of the shimmer spray on it. And here's some more that I copy dyed and sewed the lace onto the edge, and some more lace here. This one I splattered on some of the, this is the onion skin water, and this is the avocado, to create a little bit of a marbling effect. This is one of the tags that she has. This one I printed and used a coffee dyed paper. So when I printed it on, it's darker, but it is already dark. I just made it darker. And she had, this is what it looks like when it's regularly printed. And so I made this card here and did my little holes. This paper here I printed on a book page, and then some more of that paper, and this is printed on the book page, so that's what gives it that kind of a peachy color in the background. And some old lace that I have in the old ledger. I have never done a setup like this. You should see how I've got this camera up here. It's hooked to my light arm, and I've got these clamps. It's clamped. My phone is clamped on there. So yes, totally. I'm state of the art right here, girls and guys. So it's more journaling page. And here I printed on a book page and then trimmed it, edged it using this marvelous thing here. And then I sewed lace to the underneath side. And then I also made it strong by using, again, some of that green painter's paper. And put a pocket up here also. I had some old inventory slips, so I just folded a couple of them, then put on this little pocket and edged it with the washi tape. Here I had this out of an old book, and so I put some of my avocado paper. This is out of the magazine, and this is actual paper. This is a picture out of the paper of the lacing out of the Needlecraft magazine. And then here I just kind of stenciled on, or stamped on here with the music paper. And then this was some splatter painting that I had done on there. Some more pages that I've done. Little washi on the edge there to create interest. Some lace on the washi because I had planned on this being on a different page, but it wasn't working with some of the pages, so I put the lace on here to kind of tie the two pages together because the washis weren't the same. It worked for me. This is an edge that I had torn off of up here in the front. I tore the edge off over here, so I used it here. And some more avocado paper. And I got this notebook in the mail for donating some money, and so I thought the colors really worked, but this flower was more like this one over here, and so I cut out one of Julie's flowers like this and put on there and put some shimmer to it. I think that is a glossy accent. No, stickles that I put on there, and a little piece of lace underneath it. And then I printed onto a time card so that has a little bit of interest on this side. And this again is a picture out of a magazine that has the lace. And the other side of the paper that I had stenciled on, I printed on, and then I just took a piece of tracing paper, cut the edge, and then added some ink to it so that you have a page to write on. And here is another piece of stationery for you to be able to write on. Some grunged up paper, some more lace, and paper to write on, music paper. And then she was in the magazine, and this is the gown. And then here is her paper that is more of a white color, and so I went over it with my ink, and then I had these pencils here, and so I went around the edge. First I did the silver pen, and then I went around the edge with this and around the paper here where it says flowers to blossom, flower to be a flower, cauliflower. So these are all rhyming words with W-E-R on the end in case you need to know that. And so she gets to hold the flower paper. Oh, and the other side is some more of that time card. And so that is the end of the journal, and hopefully the beginning of its journey. So this is once again Dear Julie's pink floral, and you get so many pages. You're going to have a wonderful time working with it. She's got miniatures, side-by-sizes. Let me see. This is called a side-by-side. Also, this is a side-by-side. This is for a tag page, which would be long tags. And I had cut down pages to get started because I am going to make a journal using this, a regular journal. So you've got some miniatures that she has on pages. So you've got a lot of things that you can work with that you're not going to be disappointed with the kit. So I just wanted you to be able to see this, and hopefully I did her up right with my design team project, and hopefully you have been inspired to maybe make your own journal, and that this sweet girl, that Debbie Ham, that I was able to purchase from her, when you're at a sale and you're wondering what you're going to do with those file folders, here's an idea that you can do. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.